Hello, I'm David Cassell, Training Manager at Marley, and I'm your host for today's training session all about the Marley Universal Dry Verge system. We're going to explain what it does, we're going to explain the components, and I'm going to install some on a roof here in our training centre at Batten. So, without further ado, let's crack on and find out more about the Universal Dry Verge system. There's always been a bit of confusion about verges. What exactly is a verge? Well, a verge, in short, is a side edge of a roof slope. Verges can be left-handed and they can be right-handed, and this is where the confusion normally occurs because people look at roofs in different ways. So, which is the right way? As far as we're concerned at Marley, we look at the slope. So as you look at the slope like you're doing now, that verge is on your left-hand side, so left-hand verge units go there. This verge is over on the right-hand side, so right-hand verge units will be fixed over there. Generations of roofers have used mortar on verges for a very, very long time. They had to mix the mortar for themselves to the right consistency as laid down in British standards. They had to apply it in the right weather conditions. There's nothing worse than it starts raining when you're trying to apply the mortar and you've got to stop, or you're thwarted by frosty conditions where you can't use the mortar because it freezes. Even if they use the correct mortar and apply it in the right weather conditions, over time that mortar will also be subject to the elements and inevitably it will start to crack and fail. So we've known about problems with mortar for a very long time. Indeed, Marley started to look at alternatives to mortar as far back as the 1960s. Plastic ultimately was chosen as the alternative material for using against mortar. Why plastic? Because it's durable, it's strong, and it's hard wearing as well. So, the Universal Dry Verge system comes in left-hand and right-hand verge units. They're available in 3 colours, grey, terracotta and brown. They're packaged 32 in a box. There's a dry verge starter kit which contains 2 starter brackets and 2 plastic combs and the screws to fix. Batten end clips and annular ring shank nails come in a tub of 56 units of each. There's modern and segmental ridge end caps in the colours to match the verge units, and we've got segmental and modern mono ridge end caps, also in the 3 colours. Okay, so suitably suited and booted now to meet the safety requirements of our workshop, and I'm going to show you now how easy it is to install the Universal Dry Verge system. Something that I've already done is to leave the JB Red roofing battens overhanging the verge by a distance of about 50 millimeters. That enables us then to fix the dry verge units to them. A number of the battens have already got the batten end clips in place, but I'm just going to put this one on here just to show how easy it is to install these. Simply put the clip onto the end of the batten like so, give it a couple of taps with your hammer, and the teeth inside that clip really do grip into the timber, and there's absolutely no way that that's going to pull off on its own. It is a requirement of BS 8612, which is the Dry Fix British standard, that we should have a secure mechanical fixing of all dry verge units, and those batten end clips really do help to achieve that by making sure that the batten itself can't split when we put the fixing into it. It's a requirement of that British standard BS 8612 that dry verge units should be closed off at the bottom to prevent bird ingress. To do that with this system, we have the plastic comb, which literally just pushes into an ordinary verge unit and locates in just as simply as that. So that's now closed it off to prevent any birds from getting into the system down at eaves level. A unique feature of the Marley Universal Dry Verge system is the external fixing located down at eaves level. In our starter kit, we enclose 2 of these brackets which nail to the end of the fascia board, and we'll locate a dry verge unit into that in a second. So the first start of the installation process is to locate the bottom dry verge unit onto the stainless steel bracket on the starter bracket, offer a tile up, place the tile inside the verge unit itself, then using one of the annular ring shank nails, we nail through the holding position in the side of the dry verge unit, through the batten end clip and into the end of the JB Red batten, which means that that bottom dry verge unit has got 2 fixings, a firm fixing at the bottom and a firm fixing at the top. Okay, so we've put a couple of tiles in the next course, and now it's time to fit the next dry verge unit. The dry verge units lock together with each other with these integral channels on the inside. So it's a case of putting the verge unit down at low level and sliding it up against the edge of the tile so that those channels lock together inside each other, giving a firm fix at the bottom of the system. So the verge is now starting to take shape. As you can see, every row or course of tiling is ending with a dry verge unit. Okay, so that helps you to work out your quantities. Once you know how many rows of tiles you've got, you can work out how many verge units you need. It is a requirement of BS 8612, the Dry Fix British Standard, that dry verge units should have a facility to be able to discharge rainwater off the verge without causing unsightly staining of the brickwork or the barge board underneath. We learned that a long time ago at Marley, so we put these raised edges on our dry verge units, and we put the unique drainage channels in the bottom as well. And as I say, that is now a requirement of the British Standard itself. The verge is taking shape nicely now. We're onto our fourth course. The tiles that we're fixing on the roof this morning are obviously Marley moderns. We're laying them to the conventional broken bond pattern, utilising a half tile in alternate courses on the verges. The Marley modern, of course, is one of our standard thickness tiles, and the universal dry verge system is designed to accommodate both standard thickness and also thin leaning edge tiles as well, something like Marley Edgemeres. Thicker tiles like moderns, we leave the little plastic hinge in the down position to retain the bottom of the tile. If we were using the Edgemere tile, we could either push that little hinge up, leave it up, or we could even trim it off if we want to with a sharp knife. When we get to the top of the gable end, there's really a choice for the installer. They can either use plastic end caps to match the verge units, so we have a segmental ridge end cap to fit our concrete segmental ridge, or we've got the modern ridge end cap to fit our modern ridge. Alternatively, some installers prefer to use what we call a concrete block end ridge, where we've actually got a concrete ridge tile with an extra piece moulded onto it to continue the theme over the top of the gable end. So you pay your money and you take your choice. Okay, so we showed you the Marley Universal Dry Verge system with Marley Moderns earlier on. On the roof at the side of me now, I've put some dry verge on here, brown dry verge this time, with some of our Marley Double Roman tiles, just to show you that it is compatible with profile tiles just as much as it is with the flat ones, which really does emphasize the name of the product, that it really is a universal dry verge system.